Welcome to Family Lifestyles. I'm Tracy Cowles, the Butler County Family and Consumer Science Agent with the University of Kentucky. And today I have with me Kelly Burgess, who is the Allen County Family and Consumer Science Agent, and she has brought with us today some information on water safety and the way that we can enjoy the summer and be safe about it. So Kelly, what have you got with us today?
Yes, thank you, Tracy. I'm so excited to have this little chat today because, of course, as the temperatures are going up, everybody wants to spend more time outside. And even though some of our community pools might not be open as we're used to, it's great to find creative ways to still stay cool and be around the water.
Some people are probably going to go to the lake.
Yes.
And when they're at the lake, we need to make sure that they are safe. And so one of the things that they can do while they're there is wear a life jacket.
Yes, and so I wanted to share a couple statistics that I found surprising when I learned. According to the Center for Disease Control, drowning is the 5th leading cause of unintentional injury death for all ages, and the 2nd leading cause for kids ages 1 through 14.
Wow.
And that's just surprising and sad at the same time. But also, 70% of drownings happen when kids are not actively swimming. So maybe it's a time when you're around the backyard pool or just any time when, maybe you just run over to the neighbor's house real quick, but you're not in a swimming situation.
Well, I've heard that 2 inches of water can actually cause a drowning.
That's
so
exactly
if a child
right.
fell into the pool, even though there was not a lot of water, then they do have the chance of drowning.
Yes, and even those, we've talked a lot about those, the sales of those kiddie pools or the backyard pools have grown exponentially this year. And we get a good rain in Kentucky, and if you leave that pool out, there's a good chance that 2 inches of water could accumulate in the bottom of that pool.
Yes.
And so if you're not monitoring and let your kids play in the backyard, it could be grounds for an accident. So a good idea would be to just flip that pool over.
That's what I do.
Yes.
That's what I do. Because I figure I can put clean water in. I don't have the grandkids that often, so when they leave, we pour the water out. When they come back, we put more water in.
And then it's cool and fresh every time anyways.
That's correct.
But, go ahead, sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, other than being aware of these things about, how and when drownings could occur, a life vest is really a great way to make sure that we prevent those. And we really want to wear them anytime for children that we are even around the water. So if you're in the boat, if you're on the lake, you should have on your life vest.
Even if you can swim.
Yes, even if you can swim. It was one person from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers explained it to me that it's like being in a car without wearing your seatbelt. When you get in the car accident, it's too late to put your seatbelt on. So if you fall out of the boat or if an accident starts to happen, it's too late to put on that life vest. So we've brought a couple examples here with us today.
I was going to say, what do you have?
Yes.
You have several styles.
So there is several styles, and I'll start with this one because it has a nice clear label. The most important thing is that it's U.S. Coast Guard approved.
Okay.
And if it is Coast Guard approved, it will say that right inside under that size tag.
Okay, so they do have a size in them.
Yes, there's a size, and most of them might give a chest width or circumference for a child, and also the weight that it will hold.
Oh, okay.
And so we want to make sure that it's the appropriate size. And then when we put it on our child, there's a way to test that I like to call the turtle test. And what that means is if you're wearing the life vest, you shouldn't be able to pull it up over your ears.
Okay.
So you can tell your child or your grandchild, you shouldn't be able to make your head disappear inside the life vest.
So it needs to be tight around the chest.
It needs to be tight because we don't want them, if you're in the water, if it will come up over your ears, that means that they could slip out of the vest.
Okay.
And so then it's not serving its purpose.
Okay. What else do you have? Another type over there.
Yes. Over here is a little bit different. It's still U.S. Coast Guard approved. It has a back and a front, but this has kind of a little head pillow.
Okay, that keeps their head from bobbing back.
Falling back. So maybe for a younger child on that one. And then the last one, I actually learned something new. This is a self-inflating life vest. And so this is popular among fishermen and adults because you see it's a little bit less restrictive and less hot. Being hot is the #1 reason that people give for not wanting to wear a life vest, and understandably so.
Oh, yes.
You're out on the water and everything, but for this style, you have to be 16 years old to wear the self-inflating. And this one actually has a weight minimum rather than a weight maximum. But you can wear this, and then if you're in the water and it needs to function, it will inflate.
Now, can you purchase these at our big box retail stores?
I believe so.
Okay.
The main thing I want to say is that the best style of life vest for you is the one that you're willing to wear. Of course, within our Coast Guard approval and weight requirements, whatever style is appropriate for your activity and what you're willing to wear. Because, like we said, you have to have it on for it to serve its purpose.
Work.
Yes.
So we've got our life jacket on. We're in the water, whether we're at the lake or at the pool. There's another safety part to that we would like to talk about, and that's the sunscreen.
Yes, the sunscreen. And so I have a little sun set up over here on Tracy's side, and I have some SPF 30, and that's really the minimum that we want to use on our bodies to have that real protection factor. You might see some SPF 8 or tanning oil, but those are not really going to protect you as well from those powerful UVA and UVB rays.
Okay.
We can also, yes, protect ourselves with a head covering, so a hat that has a wide brim. So that
we can protect our ears and our nose.
Yes, because I don't know if you've ever had your ears burned, yes, Tracy, but it's not fun. Sunglasses, of course, to protect your vision and just make it easier to see. So not that a ball cap wouldn't be good, but something with a wide brim that will also cover your shoulders is a little bit better.
So we know that when we're out in the heat this summer, we're at the lake, we need to make sure that we are safe. And one of the safety recommendations that we have is make sure you have the appropriate life jacket. That's the very first thing that we need to make sure of. Yes. Second, we need to make sure that we're being watched, that we are watching the small children, so that if we are around pools in our backyard and we don't have a life jacket on, they can drown in just a little bit of water. So we want to make sure that if they are out there with the pool, that we've got some adult supervision.
Yes, and even designating that adult, because sometimes if we think everyone is watching, then that could mean that no one is watching. So even rotating your adult who's on duty, you can give them a whistle, you can give them a little necklace or a tag so that everybody knows that you're the one who's watching, and then swap out.
That would be neat.
Yes.
And then we need to make sure that we have sunscreen.
Yes.
Now, you may notice that there's a brand on the sunscreen that we have, but as a University of Kentucky employee, we do not promote any particular brand. This is just what we had that we could bring with us today.
Yes,
and then the hat and the sunglasses. You can purchase sunglasses with the UV protection because our eyes are very important, and we need to make sure that we protect those. So we can protect our whole body by using the proper safety equipment when we are out in the sun. So Kelly, it has been really, really enjoyable talking to you about the safety aspect. We will be right back with Family Lifestyles after this break.
Us. It's what this country is made of. A helping hand, a shoulder to lean on, different voices.
Hello.
One sacred bond. But right now, that bond is fraying. Where do we find common ground? How do we get back to us? The why fills the gaps and bridges our divides. Now, more than ever, the why needs your support. Because where there's a why, there's an us. For a better us, support your local why today.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. I'm Tracy Thornton with the Butler County Cooperative Extension Service, and we have Kelly Burgess with the Allen County Cooperative Extension Service, and she's going to talk about some fun that we can have this summer as we get together and we are doing the activities that we have.
Yes, so we've talked about safety, so we got the maybe not quite as fun part out of the way first, and so now that we know how to be safe, we can move on to how to have fun in the summer with your families. So we have some outdoor ideas and some indoor ideas because we want to have ideas for both those sunny days and the rainy days.
That is correct, especially since most of our families are going to be at home this summer.
Yes.
We're not going to be out going to a lot of places due to the events that we have in the world right now. So it is nice to know that we can do some things or activities in the home. So what are some of your activities that you have with us?
I've brought a few things today. One of my favorites as a child was water balloons. Now, there's all kinds of ideas other than just having an all-out water balloon fight that we can do that might make them last a little bit longer and maybe even keep the attention of some older kids a little bit more. And one of those things is kind of like shooting hoops or shooting basketball. We can use, I didn't bring this with me today, but you can use a laundry basket or a bag of some sort, and you can have one child designate your distance that you want to stand far enough apart, hold it on top of their head, and then the other person has to try and make a hoop in whatever kind of basket that you have.
And if it busts, then that's kind of the fun of it.
Yes.
But if it doesn't bust, then, well,
then you can keep going. Or back up, take a step back, and that kind of reminds me also of the game that's kind of like egg toss that you can do with water balloons. You can toss it a little bit and back up and toss it some more.
So that's actually a fun idea. And they now have a lot of balloons that you can hook to a hose, and it'll blow them up and seal them for you.
I did see those at the store when I was looking. I didn't buy those ones. I bought the old-fashioned kind.
They're a little bit more expensive, but if you want to have 100 or so balloons at one time, you can do it that direction.
Yes, and if you have a lot of kids, and especially, Tracy mentioned we are staying home more this summer, and so maybe you're not spending money on some of those out and about kinds of activities, so maybe you decide to spend just a little bit more on some kind of toy that you can do at home.
And one of the things that you can think about now for next year as we get ready to end the spring and we are already in the summer, they will start having some items on their clearance rack. And that's one of my favorite places to go in the store. I'm addicted to the clearance rack, and they're usually yellow and black. So that's one of my colors I look for.
Look for that.
Or they're orange and white. It depends on where you are. So I can remember last year as the season was ending, I purchased at one of the big box stores these games over here. And there's a dodgeball game that you could play. And it's made with the sticky. So it's Velcro.
Oh, the little mitts that you can. And so that can help kids with hand-eye coordination. You're getting some physical activity because if you're anything like me, you probably don't have perfect aim. So you're doing a little bit of running around.
And that, it's got a target on it. So as you said, that does do hand-eye coordination. And we know that will help get kids ready for school when they get ready to start kindergarten if they're playing with this. And then there's I can remember when we used to do the sack potato race.
Yes.
And then there is a sack racing activity kit. Now, I think I bought those on the clearance rack for 75% off. So at 75% off, they were probably a couple of dollars each. And you can put those back and have them for your summer activities.
Pull them out, and then it's like something new, but you didn't have to make it right then.
So what can you make out of your kitchen that we can have some fun with?
Ooh, a kitchen. I'm thinking of bubbles. Yes, and Tracy has a really cool bubble blower. You can probably see it, but bubbles are something you might not have the kind that you buy from the store, but there's a great recipe for making them at home. And it is a 1/4 cup of dishwashing liquid, any kind that you have, and a tablespoon of sugar. and then 1 cup of water.
And it's warm water, that
Yes.
way the sugar, and you mix it together.
Yes, you'll mix it up, so maybe in something like a plastic container with a lid or some kind of jar that you could shake. And then for your wand, you can use a pipe cleaner and fold it into whatever shape you want your bubbles to be and dip that. You can also use something like, you had a good idea earlier, a slotted spoon.
Yes.
And that's something you already have in your kitchen too.
A straw.
A straw. You can use, what was the other thing? A wiffle ball, one of those
Yes.
balls that has the little holes in it. You can dip that and, run around.
And as you mentioned, I like bubbles.
Yes.
And, whenever the kids are around, they want to do bubbles. And the actual bubble wand that I have is battery operated. And it blows the bubbles. You dip it in, and then when it circles, then the bubbles come out. And it can be handheld.
That's
so
fun.
you really need a large container to dip that in. So
You might want to
homemade
double that
bubbles-
bubble recipe.
Yeah, the bubble recipe out of your kitchen. We all have dishwashing detergent.
Yes, these are things that we all have at home. And you might not use bubbles for this one, but something simple like a little water squirt gun can provide so much fun. Kind of like with the water balloons, other than just having a squirt gun fight.
Yes.
You can do other things. If you want to do some target practice, you can set up some little plastic Dixie cups, or you could set up some ping pong balls or whatever kind of thing you have around the house. And maybe you have one child stand behind it, and so maybe they're trying to knock those off the table, but you still get wet in the process.
You could take this, I can see these activities becoming an Olympic style.
Yes.
We could see which water balloon could be thrown the furthest, who
Yes.
could blow the biggest bubble, who can shoot the best target. So you could actually turn that into, as you said earlier when we were talking, a minute to win it game style.
Yes.
So that's something that you could do. What else do we have that we could make some fun activities with?
Yes, so I mentioned that it's important to think about some indoor activities too. And a little teaser for our next segment is we'll be talking a little bit about hydration and water. So to get ready for drinking water, we can decorate cups. These are just plastic cups, nothing special. But I have some fun stickers here. And
I like stickers.
That's a great activity to get a child to decorate their cup. Then they're more excited to drink the water that's inside because it's something they've made. And as Tracy mentioned, you can tell each other's cups apart better,
Yes.
so we're definitely not going to be sharing any germs if we do it that way.
And that's very important right now.
It is.
It's very, very important. I noticed that you have some, it looks like some word scrambles and some crossword puzzles.
Yes.
Where did you get those?
So this is a great time to mention that our Family Consumer Sciences has a Sizzlin' Summer Series. That's a tongue twister right now. And so your county extension, cooperative extension office has the resources. There's at least one per week. We have a few extras as well that you can contact your local extension agent and see. You can get some of these. They go along with our weekly theme, word searches or puzzles. And that's a great indoor activity to have, maybe the end of the day, maybe you're taking a break from the heat in the middle of the day, just something to do while you're inside to keep folks a little busy.
Kelly, I really appreciate you sharing with us some fun activities that we can do. We will be right back with Family Lifestyles after this break.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological movement disorder affecting an estimated 1 million Americans, including many under age 40. It has no cure. Parkinson's is not limited to how a person moves. It can also cause symptoms like depression, fatigue, and impaired speech. Today, there is a new diagnosis every 9 minutes, though Parkinson's can be present for years before being diagnosed. The American Parkinson Disease Association is the largest grassroots network in the United States, working to help ease the burden and find the cure. For more than 50 years, APDA has funded pioneering research and provided critical support to those affected by Parkinson's. Visit apdaoptimism.org today to find out how you can help millions live with dignity and optimism. Your action today will help APDA put an end to Parkinson's disease.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. I'm Tracy Thornton Cowles with the Butler County Cooperative Extension Service with the University of Kentucky, and we are going to continue our talk about fun activities that you can do outdoors and staying hydrated and being safe with Kelly Burgess from the she's not from Butler, she's from Allen County Cooperative Extension Service.
We all share together. But yes, so we've talked about being safe, we've talked about having fun, and I wanted to end with talking about how to be fueled properly for our summer. And so you'll see some food and drink options here. So we know that when it's summertime, when it's hot, when it's humid, when we're outside, when we're more physically active, hopefully, than normal,
yes.
That increases our hydration needs. Now, baseline needs for adult women is about 11.5 cups of water per day and about 15.5 for men.
Wow.
So that can seem daunting when you think about just drinking that much water. So
yeah.
For men, that would be almost 1 gallon.
Wow.
Just to put it in, a visual perspective. For kids, ages 1 through 5, they need, whatever their age is, that's how many cups of water
they need a day.
Yes, per day. And it just it goes up with age through that. But no matter what age you are, we can all use help getting in some extra fluids.
Oh, yes. And it looks like we have many opportunities to learn about what fruits or vegetables we can have that will give us some hydration. But the first thing, what have you got over here in the picture with the oranges?
So in this picture, I have sliced up some fresh oranges, and I wanted to show you a little bit of a drink mix that is similar to a soda if you have kids who like to drink soda, but maybe you're trying to cut down on all of that added sugar and caffeine and get in some more water. This is a fun alternative. So I have just some plain club soda, carbonated water, and this has no added flavorings or sugars.
Oh, okay.
It is just water with bubbles in it. And so I'm gonna add this to our pitcher. And I'm going to fill it up about a little more than halfway with this club soda. Maybe I won't make the whole pitcher, but I'll make us a little bit. So that's fun. We're seeing it fizz with our oranges.
Oh, yes. And this would be an activity that you could have the kids to help with.
Definitely.
And during this time that we're together, if we can involve our children with cooking or other activities, so this would be an activity that they could help with.
And if they're involved in it, they're much more likely to drink it. So here I also have some orange pineapple juice. So I'm going to add a little splash of this, and that'll give you that fruit flavor, a little something sweet, without all that sugar.
And it's very colorful, too.
It's colorful. It's fun. You can throw in other fresh fruits and vegetables if you so desire. But this is kind of going to be an orange pineapple flavored fizzy drink. So that's one way to really increase
and
water.
We could use the cups that we talked about in the other segment that they've already decorated and use that as a theme.
We could have cup.
Yes, we could have fruit stickers and use it as a theme for if we wanted to have a cookout.
Yes. And especially so, since we're talking about oranges, you might see something else that looks like an orange over there, and that is an ice cube tray. Now, ice cube trays can be a really fun way to make water more fun if you want to pour it into a shaped mold. And then Tracy has picked up some ice cubes that I made with cranberry juice and grapes. So what I did is I cut up grapes and put them in the bottom of the ice cube mold. And then I had some cranberry juice around, and so I poured that over it in the mold, put it in my cup, and now we could add some of this club soda if we wanted to, and you would still get the sweet from the juice as the ice melts, but we're decreasing the amount of that sugary juice.
Yes, and that's what we need to think about is the consumption of sugar that we do have, because we oftentimes reach for the high sugar drinks while we're at the store, we're out running around, or even at home, just so that we can have something to drink. And this is a good alternative to make sure that you are getting your hydration, but that you are still conserving the calories and saving the calories for more nutritious opportunities.
And if we do juice, we want to make sure it's 100% juice, not a juice mix or a juice drink or a juice cocktail. Those are kind of keywords for added sugar.
What do we have here? It looks like we have some limes and some cucumbers cut up.
And so instead of just another option for you, instead of if you didn't want to do the ice cube molds, we can do our own flavored water. So even just plain water with some ice cubes, and with that, it'll make it really refreshing and more fun than just plain water.
It does give it, if you like cucumbers, it gives it a very mild cucumber taste.
A lot of people like to add mint to that one also.
Yes, I like mint added in there too. So we've got some hydration tips that we can use by mixing some fruit juice and club soda together, adding some fresh fruit in as our colorful event. We have over here some ways that we can get it in by freezing our juice.
And also have those little freezer reusable ice cubes, which can be really fun for kids.
That would be nice in here. That way, if you were using a fruit juice and you needed it to be cold, it wouldn't water it down.
Yes, exactly. Good idea.
And then we have just regular water. So we have opportunities to use some club soda, which, you know, a lot of times we probably don't use because we're not familiar with how we can use it. And then we have ways that we could use some regular water. So what other ways can we get our water by eating them?
I know. So I don't know if you've ever heard someone say, eat your water, which the first time I heard that, I thought, what are you talking about? But there is certain types of foods, namely fruits and vegetables, that are very high in water content. So traditionally, when I think of snacks that I would have in the summertime or at the pool, I think of something like cheese crackers or salty things, maybe pretzels or cookies. These snacks are not very hydrating, so they might actually make you more thirsty, especially if it's salty. And so we can get the same effect of that crunch from a fresh fruit or vegetable. So I have two themes or two ideas that we can play with. You can customize to make it your own. The ideas are dips and sticks. And so,
dips and sticks.
Yes, so I have made two different kinds of dips that we can use with our fresh fruits and vegetables. And both are great sources of protein. And so that's what makes it a complete snack when we have more than one food group. So the first example is chocolate hummus, which hummus is simply blended or chopped up chickpeas or garbanzo beans, which are a great source of protein.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of a sweeter dip that you could dip. I put out some fresh apples.
You've got chocolate hummus. So what did you do to make it chocolate?
So I did a can of chickpeas or garbanzo beans, and then I added about a tablespoon or two of cocoa powder. And a little bit of honey.
Oh, so that gives it the chocolate and the sweet. So that's still healthy.
Yes, and you can choose how much based on your preferences, and just a little water to make it blend smoothly.
Okay. And then you have another dip?
Yes, our next dip is a Greek yogurt ranch dip. So ranch dressing, we know, is a favorite, especially for dipping fresh vegetables, which if it's going to help you eat vegetables, great, but why not try and get some more protein in by using the plain Greek yogurt and a dry dressing mix.
Okay.
Make it any flavor you want, and you can see our vegetables.
So you got the dips, and now we have the sticks.
Yes, so anything on a stick, I think, is more fun. This is something else kids can do.
Yes.
You might want to use ones that are less pointy if they're little kids. But add your fruits and vegetables onto that stick, and then it's something easy they can pick up, grab and go, and still get in those fruits and vegetables.
Thank you for joining us at Family Lifestyles. This has been Tracy with Kelly, and we are part of the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service, and thank you for joining us today.